Yo, what is going on, guys? It's C-Brev bringing you a different type of video today. I did end up winning the Firm Summer Classic Invitational Tournament this past weekend, which was pretty freaking sweet. I'm super stoked about it. But I wanted to break down for you guys the biggest coaching decision that I made throughout this tournament, so you can kind of get inside my mind, get inside the mind of a top player, and see what I'm thinking, and just be able to realize that thinking critically and dynamically within the game state is a super important way to play the game, and it's important for gaining advantages that you might not otherwise see. So like I said, this is a pretty niche example. As far as doing this in ranked seasons, this might not be very applicable all the time, because if you did do something like this, your bullpen would be totally gassed going into the next game. But let's say you're one win away from World Series, or you're one win away from Championship Series, or you're one win away from top 50. This is definitely one of those situations that could come through for you. And it's not really about the moment itself, it's about the ability to think about things like this, because I don't think many people that play this game can think that, or attempt to think this critically all the time. So hopefully this video helps you. We're going to kind of walk through it with you guys. So just to set the stage, this is game 3 of the finals. It is a best of 3, so basically this is winner take all for this game only. I think I set him down 1-2-3. Regardless, he didn't score in the top of the first. I now have put up 2 runs, and I just took a walk with my 6-hole hitter, Brian McCann, to load the bases, and there's 1 out. So I have my 7-hole hitter coming up, 1 out, bases loaded in the bottom of the first. So that's going to be Rogers Hornsby for me. So let's take a look at this. We're up against Bob Gibson. First pitch, he throws me a slider, and I take it the other way for a single. First of all, 1 out, bases loaded, first inning. There's no way you're ever sending this runner home from third base, right? This is the most classic station-to-station example. This runner has to stay at third, because even with your next batter, even if you hit a deep fly ball, he's going to score anyway. So because there's 1 out, because it's so early, we obviously keep him at third base. We take our RBI single and we roll with it. Now I say something to chat here. I was muted for most of the game, but you can see the exact moment where I identify these pressure points. And these pressure points are the reason for me making this video. In every game, there's 1 or 2 parts of it that determine the outcome pretty much outright. And what most people don't realize is that sometimes these pressure points are very early in the game. Most people think about at-bats that change the complexion of a game as coming late in the game, being clutch, getting that clutch hit, whatever. But I want to point out to you guys that sometimes these pressure points, these tipping points, as even the announcer in-game says, can come in the first inning. And so being able to identify when these pressure points are, when you have the opportunity to just win the game outright, your win condition, for lack of a better word, is super important for playing this game at a high level. So I want you guys to listen to what I say to chat right here. If 9 spot gets up, I'm pinch hitting. Dude, I smell fucking blood right now. So I say if 9 spot gets up right now, I'm pinch hitting because I smell fucking blood right now. Keep in mind I'm hyped, so sorry for the curse words. But you can see I got my 8-hole hitter up. Let's go Zobrist. And I immediately go to my pen. So it's a little different because in Play with Friends, you automatically have a fully energized bullpen every single game. So like I said, this is an easier call to make in a Play vs. Friends scenario, which is how we do tournaments. But in ranked seasons, like I said, if you're 1 win away and your bullpen is rested enough to do this, this is definitely a way to identify when you can win the game. So I immediately get up Dennis Eckersley because I've already decided that in this situation, I'm pinch hitting for my 9-hole if he gets up, which would only happen. It would only not happen if I got a double play here. So why did I make this decision? Because the main reason is we're in the bottom of the first inning. It's a big game, and if I put one over the wall and make it 7-0, this game is over instantly. I promise you guys. I don't care if I'm playing Rebel. If I go up 7-0 in the first inning, that game is over on the spot. because it's so demoralizing, especially as the away team, to go down by that much that quickly. Especially in a game that was as big as this game. This was a $500 game, essentially. So this is when I decided to take my shot. Is this a risky move? Of course it is. If I pinch hit for my pitcher and I make a routine fly out and it's only 3-0, then I'm in trouble. But it's worth taking the risk, in my opinion, because I know that I've opened the door to win the game on the spot. Like I said, there's these moments where you can win the game instantly. This is one of them. So let's see what we do with Zobrist here. And keep in mind in these situations at all time that the pressure is on him and not me. So this is why I'm being semi-patient at the plate, because it's up to him right now to throw strikes. And he throws a sinker down the middle pretty much, and I'm just late on it. So I mess up the swing. Obviously, we don't send the runner here against Griffey, so now we're in that spot. It's bases loaded, 2 outs now, and we got our pitcher coming up. So we go ahead and pull the trigger. And this is actually a really important part as well. It's a little tiny thing, but when I go to pinch hit here, I do it as quickly as possible. Like as few micro movements as I can make, because when you pinch hit very quickly, especially in a situation like this, it oozes confidence, right? It kind of just gives the vibe that you've thought about it, you've pre-planned, you have no doubt that this is the best decision for you. So watch how I move through the menu here. I go to my guy Richie Ashburn, who is my #1 left-handed pitch hitter for early in the game situations. And I go with Richie because I'm under the impression that he's not going to take out Bob Gibson here. And this is the other side of the coin that I also want to talk about right here. So I've made my coaching decision. I've identified the pressure point. I've decided that if I can put one over the wall here, I win the game immediately, right? From Rivera Rake's perspective, now he has the decision to make. And this is also a critical tipping point for him, right? So what you can't see from my perspective, but you could have seen it on stream, is that he actually did have 2 people warming up in his bullpen that were ready to go. So one of them is Billy Wagner, who he would have gone to. So with Richie Ashburn now in my 9 hole, that gives my next 3 hitters as Richie Ashburn, Roberto Alomar, and Ty Cobb, who are all worse against lefties. So now he has to decide, do I want to put in Billy Wagner in the first inning and give myself a much better chance to get out of this with only giving up 3 runs, or do I want to leave Bob Gibson in? And there's a very strong argument, surprisingly, for leaving Bob Gibson in, because think about the decision that I've made. This is pretty much an all-in in poker terms for me, right? If he can get an out here, I'm only up by 3, and my bullpen's going to be throwing 8 innings. He has gigantic bullpen advantage throughout the rest of the game if he can get this out. So, in my opinion, I probably would have left Bob Gibson in as well. Bringing Billy Wagner in gives him a much, much better chance of getting this out. But if you take the risk and you leave Gibson in and you get the out, then you are in a supreme advantage the rest of the way in this game. The momentum swing would be gigantic. Even if he just gets 3 or 4 innings out of Gibson, that's 2 or 3 innings of a lead he has on me in the bullpen. So if this game was to go to extra innings for long enough, he would pretty much be guaranteed to win. So also a very tough decision to make from his perspective, and these are the kind of things that you have to be thinking about as you go through the progression of the game, and that's the reason why I wanted to make this video, because he made great decisions as well. He already had the bullpen ready. He had the lefty to go to, and he just decided, there's risk-reward with everything, right? He decided that if he could get this out, then he wins the game outright. Do you see what I'm saying? I pinch hit because I've decided if I put one over the wall, I win the game on the spot. He's decided to leave Bob Gibson in because if he gets an out, he's won the game on the spot. And these are these pressure points, these tipping points that you guys have to be able to identify to play this game at a high level. So let's see what we do with Richie Ashburn here. Right now he's looking at his bullpen and he decides to leave Gibson in. So once again, like I said, the pressure's on him, not me, to throw strikes. So we're being pretty patient here. We're looking for hanging off speed. I remember specifically is what I was looking for here. So he hits us with 2 four-seam fastballs, and then he hangs a changeup right down the middle. So we rip it into right field for a single. So that's huge for us. At this point, the gamble has already paid off, in my opinion. A 4-run lead is a lot better deal than a 3-run lead. So I'm happy with this result. Did we put it over the wall? No. Did we win the game on the spot? No. But it's not the worst outcome for us. So pretty big at bat there. Good swing from us. And then he hangs a sinker and I'm late on it. And now once again, I'm making sure to be patient at the plate. He's got to throw strikes. He's got to get me out, because if I put one in the gap here, we're at that 7-0 break point that I've already talked about. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I hope this was informative for you guys. I hope it helps you in determining breakpoints yourself, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. Let's fucking go!